Good morning. Beautiful day, beautiful practice. So, as I mentioned in the note, yoga, of course, can truly do a lot to improve our digestion, peristalsis, which is motility, moving things in and out. Our digestive system basically starts at your mouth and ends at your you-know-what. And there are a few things we can do to enhance the absorption of nutrients, which of course, eating the right foods, and chewing well and slow down. And because eating is such a pleasure, I know that we socialize with food. I know that sometimes I'm in front of my computer eating, and it takes a long time to change habits. So we needn't be hard on ourselves. However, because eating is so pleasurable, because it was so much work to bring whatever it was to our table on a plate in front of us, and we truly are some of the luckiest people on the planet to have this pleasure more than once a day. Every once in a while, just consider doing nothing but being with your food. So there's, I don't have it all figured out. I am far from perfect, but all the time I'm just trying to bring more consciousness, more awareness to all aspects, and so that I can live as long as I like and like as long as I live, basically. So we're going to start on the floor, and twisting in and lying down position is a lot easier than twisting in a seated position, but we're going to do both today. And the other thing is that basically, if you do have a sluggish metabolism, know that twists, forward bends, and inversions are the postures that we could practice to increase. And then I'm going to give you a couple other tips as well in terms of breathing and locks. So come on over onto your backs. Oh, and we're also going to talk about a juicy yama today called Brahmacharya. Kind of your personal energy conservation. So on your backs, let's draw the knees up into the chest for a moment. Now, when we bring both knees up into the chest and pull them in, this gets into a number of your digestive organs, your small intestine, your large intestine, and your small intestine, super important. It's where the nutrients get absorbed. And there's a lot I could tell you more than this, but we don't have time for this in this class. But if I ever get around to writing the articles I want to write, to distill the information that can just make you feel so darn good, and understanding how our body works is one way that we can achieve and be better in every way if we know what's going on. So placing this pressure on your small intestine, your large intestine, which includes the transverse colon, well, the ascending colon on the right side, the transverse colon goes right across the center, and then the descending colon, basically the anus, the rectum. Now, it's called Pawamaktanasana, this posture, and I may have not said that entirely correctly, but let's release the left leg down in front and keep the right knee bent into the chest. Pull it in and press it down, really getting into your ascending colon. So this can help with peristalsis, help to move things out of the body. And then with your left hand on the outside of your right knee, draw it across your body, twisting. So as I said, twists are awesome for the compression, the stimulation, the rejuvenation, the movement of whatever is in the digestive system. You may be feeling this in your hips and your glutes, so there's lots of other benefits, but today, of course, focusing on our digestive organs. And of course, we are going to talk about head position. So I want you to be aware that when you're lying flat on your yoga mat, your alignment is pretty perfect, meaning that your head is resting exactly where it should, between your shoulders. Your ears are lining up with the center of your shoulders. All right, inhale, come back to center. And then draw your left knee up and extend your right leg straight down in front. And now interlocking your fingers 2 inches below your kneecap. And if you tilt your chin just towards the front of your chest, you also, of course, lengthen your neck, tucking your shoulder blades under your heart, pressing now into the descending colon. Breathe. And then with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, draw it across your body. You can extend your left arm out to the left side and keep that hand on top of the outside of your knee, maintaining a little bit of pressure. Now breathe into your glutes or your hips if they're kind of screaming for attention. Breathe into it. The other beautiful tip that I want to give you is that every time you exhale fully, particularly when you're either standing or lying down or sitting, when you exhale and you're pulling your abdominal muscles towards your inner spine, this is a massage for your abdominal viscera, for your organs. So naturally, we breathe in. That just happens without us thinking about it, but sometimes we need to think about exhaling and letting go. In fact, as you breathe today, become aware of your abdominal organs, knowing that they're getting this massage just by virtue of you breathing with awareness fully, deeply, and completely. And come back to the center and draw your other knee up one more time. Now, let's wrap our arms around our knees if we can, as best you can, grabbing one wrist with the other hand. Pavamuktanasana, Pavamuktasana. I think that's got it. So this is also known as wind relieving pose. Most of the causes of indigestion are due to wrong food choices, fatty, spicy, greasy, eating too quickly, not chewing, and drinking far too many fluids, whether they're bubbles, alcohol, coffee. We should not douse our digestive fire. We'll be working on that today. All right, bring your hands underneath the backs of your knees, rock up, and come on over onto all fours. So, our cat-cow, of course, excellent. Now, again, for massaging the abdominal viscera, hands are underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread wide apart, middle finger presses forward. If you recall from last week, where you want to press into your fingers, your thumb, pointer, baby finger mound, I'm sure it'll all come back to you. All right, so on an exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in, drop your tail, and tuck your chin. On an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, stretching out abdominal organs and viscera, lifting the head, lengthening through the upper front of the body. Exhale, rounding the spine, pull your bellies in, drop your tail, chin in. And inhale, hollow out your lower back, Lifting tail, lengthening through the neck, lifting through the chest, creating space, exhaling. This is the purge. This is the release. This is the letting go of everything that's not serving us. Toxins, impurities, whether they're thoughts or energy. And again, inhale, taking in the prana. I love it. Some of the girls in class today stepped outside. When I asked them where they went, they said, oh, we were out getting some prana, fresh energy. And again, flatten the tops of your feet. One more exhale. And truly, this time of year, you only need to look around and see the growth, the flowers. It's so beautiful. Every day, it's changing minutely, sometimes a lot. And last time, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lifting. Ooh, okay, we forgot one thing. And coming back to neutral, curl your toes under, walk your hands back towards your knees, roll back onto the soles of your feet, let your head hang. Now again, keep your knees soft, notice the compression on the belly. This is excellent for improving digestion. So physical exercise, always great, even walking, awesome for digestion. So let's slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest until you are all the way up. So in Ayurveda, which is the lifestyle diet component, shoulders up to the ears, exhale, roll them back, meaning the science of life, walk 100 steps after your meals, if you can. It's just a thought, but walking is excellent for digestion. I'm thinking about introducing this idea right now about our new king and queen. So I have a couple of thoughts on this. I mean, you already know what I'm thinking, and I don't know why their heads are forward. And I've noticed it for years that Camilla's head was forward, and I said, I thought maybe she had a short neck. Well, I don't care if she has a short neck. She should still be able to get her head back. So I'm surprised that nobody knows. But there's a couple things. You know, I think it was Groucho Marx who put his arms behind his back? Who did that? Was it Groucho or was it, there was another guy. Come on up here, Sue, you're fine. Yeah. Oh, do you need a mat? Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, I thought it was, who used to walk like this? But he walked forward, but he would have his shoulders back. Anyway, I think about these iconic people. Maybe it wasn't, I thought it was one of the Marx brothers.
Charlie
Yes,
Chaplin?
Are you guys just too young to remember any of? Okay, well, never mind. Now, how about banker? Imagine you have suspenders. These are just tips that I would use. So imagine you have suspenders. Tuck your fingers under your suspenders. Look at what this does for your posture. I mean, it lifts you up right here. It gets your shoulders back. Typically, when your shoulders go back, your head goes back. Because as I said, typically when the head goes forward, the shoulders go with it. It's so unattractive. It's so old looking, tired, worn out. As I said, maybe they were worn out by the time they had to show up at the cathedral. Okay, so that's the other one. Last one. Did you ever want to be a supermodel? No, I know. But they put their hands like this. Yeah. I'm not suggesting you walk down Queen Street after class like this, but I am telling you that just these little things that certain people do in their lives, we could incorporate once in a while when someone's telling you something that you're really not that interested in. Maybe tap your foot while you're standing there. I'm kidding. Okay, kids, back to serious. Let's do some sun salutations. They're good for everything, including digestion. All right, inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer, shoulders down. Press those palms together a lot. This is great for your wrists. And then take your feet as wide as your mat, or at least almost as wide. Stretch your arms up, reach up, look up, and arc back. Feel that stretch for your abdomen. And then inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Reach forward as you hinge from the tops of your legs, your hips. Reaching forward fold, fingertips to the floor. Now, if you do have blocks and you want to put your, if you can't reach your fingertips to the floor, if you can keep your legs straight, clearly you get a nice stretch through the back of your legs. If you can't find your blocks, you can bend your knees, but you do need to have your fingertips on the floor. And then let's step the left leg back and drop the knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. And then focus your gaze for balance. Lift your back knee off the floor. Press through your back heel. Shoulders stay over your hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And just a reminder, the heat is turned off. If need be, I can open a door. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, place them on the mat, and come on into your plank position. If this is too much for your shoulders or your wrists, do not be a hero. Bring your knees to the floor and then lift your ankles off and cross. But if you are able, just hold in plank position, press through your heels, reach forward through the crown of your head, draw your heart center forward over your thumbs. Please engage your muscles. Notice how this protects your lower back. Let go of your abs, okay? And notice maybe that your lower back doesn't feel supported. Pull your belly in. You feel the support in your lower back. So this is not just about yoga on the mat. This is all day long. Okay, release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Leave your hands where they are. If you can bend your knees past 90 degrees, then take your hips back towards your heels. If you're not able to bend, stay where you are for now. Drawing your hips towards your heels, stretching through your arms, and now leave your hands where they are. Stay nice and low. Slowly come forward like a snake slithering through the grass. And then release your chest and your chin, keeping your bum in the air. Slide everything out behind you. Align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Place your forehead on the mat. Bring your elbows into your side body. Press your forearms towards the floor. Notice the movement of your shoulder blades and your shoulders away from your ears. Flatten the tops of your feet. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. And then inhale, lift your head and neck, shoulders and chest, baby cobra. Baby Bhujangasana. Excellent again for digestion. This compression on the abdominal organs. We're bringing extra blood supply to this area. Within the blood is oxygen and of course the cleansing and purging. One more breath in to lift, exhale, lengthen to lower. Curl your toes under. Come on up onto your knees and lift your hips up. Walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Bend your knees, press your belly onto your thighs, chest towards your knees. Make sure you're pressing all 10 fingertips into the floor here. Not so much on the heel of your hand, remember? From last week. And then send your sits bones backwards towards the back of your mat. And then send your heels towards the floor. Don't worry if they're touching or not. Mine are still not touching 34 years later. But just notice the good stretch through the backs of your legs and breathe here. And then lift your left leg up in the air. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. And then let your head hang. So remember, forward bends, twists, and inversions. These are all beneficial for digestion, metabolism, assimilation, and elimination. Bring your arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. And then inhale, sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold with a flat back. And then bend your knees and inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead, hands in prayer. Exhale all the way down. One more round. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Press your palms together firmly. Inhale, step your feet apart, reach your arms up, and then separate your hands, arc back, stretching the front of your body. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold, fingertips to the floor, let your heads hang. Now, step your right leg back, knee to the mat, hands on your left thigh. Focus your gaze for balance. If you're going to come up, press through your back heel. That's your anchor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And breathe. Fingers are active. Rib cage stays in. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them down onto your mat. Take the other leg back and take your push-up of choice. Engage your core, whichever one you are performing today. Breathe. Strong core, healthy back. And vice versa. Everything is connected. You can do a little rocking if you wish on the balls of your feet and your toes. Takes your mind off a couple of things, then it stretches the plantar fascia. And then release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, leave your hands where they are. Slowly take your hips back towards your heels, lengthening your spine, stretching your shoulders, and compressing your abdominal organs. And breathe. Make sure you're breathing fully, deeply, and completely. And then release your forearms to the floor. Now, if your upper back is really tight, this, of course, is a little more challenging. So practice with awareness, respect, and compassion for where you are today. Things will improve with practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes progress. Slide everything out behind you. Align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders, forehead on the mat, elbows tucked into your side body, and then press your forearms down towards the floor. If you're considering the fuller version of Cobra, you may wish to spread your feet a little wider apart to give your sacrum a little more space. And then everybody starts with rolling the invisible alley to lengthen the neck. Inhale, lift the head, neck, shoulders, chest. And then if you are coming up, press the floor away from you. Do not let your shoulders come up to your ears or your elbows wing out. And if you want to come back to baby cobra, do so. Breathe. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Align your ears with your inner arms, pressing all fingers into the mat. And now press your sits bones towards the back wall, transferring some of the weight in the upper body to the lower part, and then straighten your legs. Please don't hyperextend your knees here, but feel the stretch in the backs of your knees, your calves, and your Achilles tendons. And breathe. So this is considered an inversion, downward facing dog. There are many, many benefits, but inversions, twists, and forward folds are what improve and help with our digestion. Right leg goes up in the air. Look at your right hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can, or pick it up and move it there. Other foot comes forward, and please let your heads hang. Here we have a forward fold. Arms beside your ears. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up, stretching up, feet apart for balance. Look up. arc back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands in prayer. Exhale, all the way down. Alrighty. Come on down onto your bellies. We'll get this out of the way. And she's like, now what? Well, Dhanurasana bow pose, not just good for digestion. A lot of things that we're doing for digestion's also great for reproductive organs and glands, whether you're using them or not. You want to hang on to them. So Dhanurasana, a bit demanding, but let's see what we can manage here. So I'll just show you briefly, when you take your legs wide apart and you grab your ankles, and then we're going to lift everything up. Now, for those people who say, no way, Jose, not happening today, place one hand in front of your body. It doesn't matter which one, but you're going to take the opposite leg. So this would be one, I don't even know if this exists in terms of calling it one-leg Dhanurasana. I know it's a posture, but you can just lift one leg up, okay? If two is too much, because we're going to do this twice. But if you're just doing one leg at a time, you'll do one at a time, okay? So, galvanize yourselves and choose which option. If it's both legs, you may wish to spread your legs apart. If you get a cramp in a leg, you just drop the leg and wait for a moment. But you grab your ankles. So whichever one, whether you're doing one or two ankles, you're grabbing your ankles and you're wrapping your thumb around your Achilles tendon. Feel that strong tendon. That is the biggest tendon in the body. And then your fingers are wrapping around the front of your ankle. All right. Press your hips and pelvis into the floor. On an inhale, if you're holding both legs or even one leg, you're kicking the leg back. That helps to lift the chest off the floor. Now, if you're doing one leg, you don't need to lift your chest off the floor. You can just lift the leg off the floor. But if you're able to lift your chest off the floor, lovely. Nice, everybody. Everyone's given this a whirl. Dhanurasana, bow pose. Now, clearly, this gets the shoulders back. This gets the head back. There are so many benefits to this posture. Release and lower your legs. Please turn your head to one side, arms beside your body with your palms facing up. Let your shoulders melt, big toes touch, and heels splay out. All of your back bends are cardiovascularly demanding, which means we are improving the heart circulation of blood. And in the blood is the nutrients and oxygen. So yes, very demanding, but tremendous benefits to Dhanurasana. So it's worth the effort. But of course, please, please practice mindfully. I have no idea how your body feels today. So if something hurts, feels too much, respect your bodies. Okay, so change legs if you were just doing the one leg. And if you're doing both, let's go for it again. So, as I said, if you widen your legs, it's easier. If you need to, everybody's kind of built a little bit differently, or you can keep your legs together, whatever works. All right, press your hips and pelvis into the floor, and then on an inhale, kick your legs back. That helps get your chest off the floor. So pull on you're holding your instep, so you're able to grab your ankles, and then kick back. There you go. Huge difference in how you're able to do that. That's great. I know it's hard. So, and if you feel like rocking, Okay, one more breath in and let it go. Yay, that's it, we got it over with. Everybody still breathing? Yes. Okay, turn your head to the other side, please. Arms beside your body with your palms facing up. Let your shoulders melt. Big toes touch and heels splay out. No, it's enormously demanding. It's not lost on me at all. You can hear me breathing heavy. It's like, but the benefits to your digestive elimination, I mean, your spine, stretching your quads, your hip flexors, it's huge. It's a huge posture. So of course, because it's springtime, our diets change from heavier, warmer foods to lighter, cooler foods. So of course, salads, asparagus, artichokes. Now I know we don't eat them very often, but lots of great benefits. So it's just a great time to change things up and clear things out. That's why we have yard sales in the spring. But more importantly is to clean things out of our bodies, feel a little lighter, revitalized, rejuvenated, just like nature. All right, bring your hands under your shoulders and let's press up into child's pose. But take your knees wide apart, so modified child's pose. Big toes touch and slowly take your hips back towards your heels. And if you need height for your forehead, then fold your arms, make a pillow, or stack your fists, and just stretch out your lower back. And we're going to stretch it even further because we're going to do the opposite of bow pose. We're going to head into halasana, plow pose, and stretch out the lower back. But it's one of the top 8 poses to improve digestion. So breathing into your side and back ribs. And remember, on the exhale, that's where you get a chance to massage your abdominal viscera. Inhaling, come on up, come on over onto your backs. And just before we do our plow pose, the one that I wanted to do earlier, but we'll do it now. We're just going to do our slow little bicycles. So bring your hands, you interlock your fingers behind the back of your head, elbows out to the side, and your knees are up towards your chest. Press the small of your back into the floor. Inhaling in place. Exhale, bring your left elbow to your right knee as your left leg goes straight out. And change. And we're doing this slowly. Other elbow to opposite knee. Change. Inhaling to stretch out. Exhaling to twist. Inhaling to lengthen and change legs. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale to twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And one more time. Taking elbow to knee and lower your head down and draw your knees in towards your chest. And do some gentle rocking from side to side. So next we'll take halasana or plow pose. Now, for those who feel they don't wish to do this, I would suggest that you take your block or cushion or whatever you have and just place it underneath your buttocks, and I'll just show that. I'll put my runa, my cushion, So, you know, if you don't wish to do full halasana, you can still do a modified version of it just by putting something under your butt, under your sacrum, and then bring your knees over behind your head so that you're getting some compression. Okay? And for those of us coming into full halasana, arms are beside your body with your palms facing down. Lift your hips up and just take your legs. I think they call this ass over tea kettle. I don't know where that expression comes from. I'll have to look that one up, or somebody can tell me after class. And if you take your legs apart, you will find it a little bit easier. There's no need to put your toes on the floor. You can keep your knees bent if you like, or you can straighten your legs, but don't force anything here. By the way, if you have super high blood pressure, don't stay in this long. Now, this isn't something that my yoga teacher, he never ever mentioned certain contraindications that I read about all the time. And as far as I know, in his 54 years of teaching, it's unbelievable, about 600 students a week, also incredible. I never heard of anyone ever hurting themselves or running into any trouble. In fact, the reality is that yoga lowers your blood pressure. Now, I realize there are some people that maybe it doesn't work for. There's no 100% fast and hard rules, but scientifically, medically proven is one of the facts of lowering blood pressure thanks to yoga. Okay, keeping your hands on the floor, let's slowly release the torso all the way back down, using your core as you slowly lower. And then you can activate your abs by lowering your legs straight down to the floor. But if your back can't handle it, or your abs, well, then do whatever you need to. But great opportunity here to strengthen the abdominal muscles that protect your viscera. And then just take a moment here to turn your palms up. Take your arms just slightly away from your body. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. Bring your heels together and let your feet splay out. And again, good deep inhaling and exhaling. Remember, on your exhale, when you pull your abdominal muscles in towards your spine, not only do you massage your organs, but you're also, by breathing with conscious awareness, activating your parasympathetic nervous system. There's no digestion happening when you're in your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight. So if you're stressed out, it's not a good time to eat. If you're moving a lot, it's not a good time to eat. That's why we sit when we eat. We should be calm and breathing in a calm manner so that we know our parasympathetic nervous system is activated so that the body understands and knows it's okay and everybody's in alignment to digest, assimilate, metabolize, and of course then eliminate the waste from the food that we ate. But being stressed out, and sometimes, of course, when we're stressed out, we want to eat and drink all the wrong things. We want to comfort ourselves. Anyway, again, just bringing awareness to all this. Okay, place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and let's rock up to a seated position, and let's do Ardha Matsyendrasana. So our seated twist position. Pull the flesh out from underneath your sits bones. Legs are straight out in front of you. Again, we have an option. We can roll over onto our right hip and bring the right leg under the body and bring the left to the outside of the knee. That's an option. Or just keep your leg straight and draw your left foot and place it outside of your right knee. If you're choosing the other way, you're going to fold the right knee under first and then bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee. So whatever your choice is. Now, if you can, you want to try and have both sits bones equally touching your mats. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below your knee and pull your torso towards your bent thigh. And now place your left hand behind you. Inhale the right up. Exhale, twist and turn, bringing the elbow either outside of the knee or around the knee. So this is your major twist position for cleansing and purifying. It's often compared to wringing out a face cloth, a rag, a dishcloth. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist and turn. As you inhale, consider lengthening your spine, reaching up through the crown. Exhale, turning whatever amount you can to increase the amount of area that is being purged of toxins, wastes, and impurities. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release the twist, counter twist to the other side. Lengthen and lift your chest. Exhale, come back to center. And then if your bottom leg was folded under, release it. Take the other leg and just bang out the backs of your knees. It was interesting. I was in some weird positions on the weekend trying to figure out why the water wasn't coming through a tap in my cabin. And I really did something to my knee. I tweaked something. I was super worried that I was going to be messed up. But luckily, okay, let's do the other side. So I'm very aware, I was for a couple of days about people who have knee issues. So every time I do hurt myself, I think, okay, I kind of get what some people are dealing with that I wouldn't know if I didn't have the problem. Interlock your fingers. Again, try to adjust so that both sit bones are on the floor. So if you are bending the leg and it feels like too much, release it because it is an intense hip stretch. I'm even thinking about it myself, but I'll just think about it a little more. And then inhale, bring your torso towards your bent thigh. That foot should be flat on the floor. And then place your right hand behind you to prop yourself up. Inhale, reach the other arm up. Exhale, twist, turn, and bring the elbow to the outside of your knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. And just as a note, I do offer my cabin on Lake Huron. It's just north of Goderich for rent to people I know, looking for peace and quiet and the sound of waves that sound like and look like the ocean or Waka Beach. It's heaven, absolute heaven. You feel like you're a million miles away from everything and everybody, but you're only 8 minutes from the grocery store or the LCBO in the event. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twisting whatever amount you can. And when we close our eyes, we reduce our senses going outward and bringing them more inward. So of course, you're feeling the compression here on your abdominal organs. And you may notice a difference in the next 24 hours in your bowel habits after a class like this. Inhale, lift and lengthen, reaching up through the crown. Exhale, release, twisting to the other side. And come back to the center and carefully unfold the legs. And once again, bang out the backs of the legs. Paschimottanasana, our last seated posture before we come back to standing. So it's a seated forward bend. Pull the flesh again out from underneath the sits bones, sitting up as tall as you can. Flex your feet. When they're closer, they're easier to capture. Okay, inhale and sweep the arms up, reaching up and stretching up. Now lift up out of your waist and then bend forward. You're hinging from your hips. And it really doesn't matter how far down you go. The compression in your abdomen is happening even if you're just halfway down. Let's inhale, reach and stretch. And of course, if our hamstrings are tight or our hips are tight, it will hold us back a little bit. Just do your best. Let's inhale, reach again, reach and stretch. Now exhale and lower your hands and take hold of whatever part of your lower extremity you can take hold of, whether it's your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees. Let's inhale to lengthen, lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, release the shoulders back away from the ears. You may begin to feel, if you haven't already, your hamstrings firing. So they feel like they're heating up, they're firing, they're activated, they're doing something. One more inhale, exhale. Again, lower whatever amount you can. Reaching the crown forward. Don't do too much. Do not do too little. And then walk your hands back up your legs. Oh, yeah. Okay, fold your legs to the side. I was just thinking, I was back at my beach again. It's wonderful to do yoga on the beach. And if there's any little kids around, they're going to come over and they're going to try and do exactly what you're doing. I just love it. They're so cute. I mean, it wouldn't matter what beach you're on. That's how they are. Monkey see, monkey do. Okay, roll back onto the soles of your feet. Keep your knees soft. Let your heads hang and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. I guess the thing about doing yoga on a beach with water in front of you is that you end up being very zen. And that's a nice place to be. Okay, Uddiyana Bandha is a lock. We've done it before, but sometimes when I'm waiting for my dinner or something, I'll practice this, or just when I think of it. It's just a great practice. So basically, it's a lock in the abdominal area. It's called an abdominal lock. And now, it's a little more technical, but if you grip the area between the anus and the perineum, this also helps to bring air and keep the prana lifting up through the body. But that may be too much to think about right now. So I'm turning sideways, or I'll turn 3/4 here, because you're just going to let your belly hang, and then you're going to exhale, and you're going to pull your belly in, and then you're going to do a false exhale. Like all the air has to be out in order to do this, and I won't be able to talk when I'm doing it. But once all my air is out, I'm pulling my abdomen up and almost under my rib cage. That's what it kind of feels like. Don't think about that, just pull it in. So let's begin placing your hands on your thighs, okay, and then and sink your hips a little bit so you can be comfortable and keep your spine relatively lengthened, all right, rather than hunched. No, let's keep the spine long, so stick your tailbone out through the back and inhale and exhale and inhale. And let's make this our last exhale. All the air out. You can blow it out through your mouth. Now you think you have all your air out. Imagine a false exhale. More out, more air out if possible. And then pull your abdominal muscles up. Now this is where you may round a little bit through your back. Pull, and when you need to breathe again, come out of this, stand up and breathe, okay? Are these people not reading that sign? I'm going to punch them out. I have a nice sign there. Okay, come on up to standing. It just may be a reminder. We've got a door at the back of the room for those of you practicing at home that make so much noise. I even put tape on the lock. Okay, all right, so did you kind of get that? Because you've done it before, right? Now, so for those of you a little more advanced or you're comfortable with this, once you're in this, you can, without breathing, you need to keep the air out. It's in, out, in, out. Got it? Like you get, this is where having a belly can really feel this. Okay, so it's just a great practice, guys. Okay, so inhale and exhale. And actually you can do this on your own time, but inhale, exhale all the air out. And then even more, false exhalation, pull the belly up. And you can release the belly, so it's just the musculature that you're releasing. All the air stays out. Good, Sue, I could see you working it. Everybody got clear about that? Okay. All right, let's come into a couple of standing postures before we come down. I'm going to talk about brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, which is restraining our energy, sexual energy, but we'll get beyond that because that's not a popular notion for lots of people. And it wasn't once for us too, right? Okay, so whatever age you're at, there are other things we do to restrain and preserve our precious energy. Step your right foot back one leg length. We're going to do triangle pose just to stretch and strengthen this core. Make sure your heel creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot, and your legs are going to be straight. Legs are going to be straight. So, not bending. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Reach forward. Don't reach down, just reach forward. When you can't reach any further, let your front hand hinge in front of your front leg, and then reach the other arm, reach it up, stretch it up, and maybe look up. So you want your top shoulder above your bottom shoulder. If you go too far down, you lose the integrity. Try to straighten your front leg, June. And Philip, maybe your leg is straight. Okay, come forward. Look forward. Drop your back knee to the floor. And you're going to bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, and you're going to open your palm. I guess I should come around this side. So our crescent stretch twist, hands in prayer, elbow up, curl your back toes under. It's a balance. Focus your gaze. Your standing twist. So twists are huge for digestion. You can do them standing, sitting, or lying down. Great for your spine too. And then release your hands, bring your front foot back, and let's slowly roll up. And let's take the other leg back. Wait a minute, how am I going to do this? So take the opposite leg back. Inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Lower your shoulders, reach forward. So you're going to feel that in your inner thigh. Your legs are straight, and then lower your front arm. Don't reach down so much as reach up. Have your energy going up. Reaching up, stretching up. Your top arm, if possible, is directly above your bottom arm. And let's pivot. Drop that back knee on the floor. Bring your left elbow outside of your right knee. Palms one on top of the other. Curl your toes under. Lift your back knee off the floor. Focus your gaze for balance and press through the heel of your back foot. And then release your hands to the floor. Let's turn sideways. I'm going to turn around so that you're sideways on your mat. Let's lunge over to the right, bringing bum close to heel, up and over to the left. And walk your feet into the center and come into your final pose, Shavasana, which aligns your body in perfect posture. Now, if you have your iPads, put your tissue over your eyes. Does anybody need an iPad? Because they're all near the cushions. Some of these have been lovingly made by Martha in our class here. Or if you don't have an iPad, just use anything to cover your eyes if it is light where you are and when you practice. So the fourth yama, brahmacharya, it's often translated as celibacy or chastity, and it was traditionally meant to encourage yogic or spiritual practitioners to conserve their sexual energy in favor of using energy to make further progress along a yogic or spiritual path. But of course, that's a difficult thing, and obviously if our parents were celibates, we wouldn't be here. But really, it's about preventing the dissipation of one's energy through the misuse of our senses. And you know, anything that can cause turbulence in our mind or stirs counterproductive emotions is seen as a violation of brahmacharya. So overstimulating foods, which in yoga are known as rajasic, and I'd love to get into that at some point too. Loud music. Aerosmith's on their final tour. That'll be loud. Violent movies or television. And yeah, you know what? Once in a while, we're going to watch this stuff. I'm not saying that we should never. We're not saints, and I don't think our goals are to be saints. But it's really about awareness. So whatever disturbs the mind is going to disturb the body. And it's really, brahmacharya is about right use of energy. So basically, whether we're on the mat, struggling with a posture, maybe we need to let go of the struggle and just say, this isn't for me today. Or if we're in a lineup to get a passport and we're getting all stressed out, we need to take a deep breath, relax, and let go. As Geshe Michael Roach said, if I can do something about it, why worry? If I can't do something about it, why worry? Lying on our backs allows our body to absorb the benefits, to absorb earth telluric energy, and align the body in perfect posture. Resting the mind rests the body. And even while we're aware of noises outside, we can choose to bring our awareness to our breath, to the movement of our chest, our diaphragm, and our bellies. And we can allow the corners of our mouth to turn up in that little knowing Buddhist smile that we've got our yoga practice out of the way and move into enjoying our day. Inhaling the life force long, full, and deep. And deep. Exhaling. Pull your bellies in. Inhaling long, full, and deep. And deep. Exhaling. One more long, full, deep breath in. And one more complete breath out. When you're ready, roll over onto your sides. But not until you're ready. And when you are, press with your top arm to push yourself back up into a seated position. Thank you once again for sharing your yogic journey with me. Namaste.